Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to another CryptoManiacs Podcast. It is March the 8th, 2022. Task, do you know where your children are? No?
I only have one.
Oh,
She's
okay.
27, so exactly, no.
No. Okay. That's perfect. Anyways.
Hasn't been my area of observation for a number of years. That's what happens when they get old and
Yeah.
they move on.
Yeah, my oldest is 20 and trying to get this try to get this guy to return a text message is painful.
Yeah. You
I don't
suddenly
want to talk to.
you no longer exist.
Yeah, we don't exist the older we get. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, Chris. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. So we were supposed to have a special guest today, but then they had to reschedule. So then we got another special guest scheduled for today. They've gone MIA. So you guys are stuck with Task and I, which is okay because there's lots going on, lots to discuss. And when we can't drag someone up on camera and on the microphones with us, we will find the content to come up with. Right, Task?
That's what we're here for. We aim to please and serve our audience.
Beautiful. So I guess there's a couple of big things. The biggest thing over the weekend is the fun-filled world of Polycub. Wow. Do we dive right in? I mean, so we set this up because we had Cal on what was it, the 4th, right? March 4th,
Friday.
So last Friday. And when these type of things start launching, a lot of the people, the DeFi people, the people that are into the crypto investing, they really get excited. Like it's Polygon, it's Ethereum, it's BSC, it's this block. I'm of the ilk of, okay, I'm not really the biggest. I don't have the biggest knowledge base when it comes to this stuff. But I did a dive on Saturday evening. I did a dive, and thanks to What's Up, she actually sent me one Matic so I actually could do some transaction because we're on Hive and we're spoiled. We're not used to this transaction fee stuff. But I dove in, man, and holy moly donut shop. Those is it too good to be true stuff? Like, would you place Polycub in that box? Because it seems too good to be true.
No, because it's true, and it was designed specially to be this way, where people who get involved in Polycub through the Polycub through the staking, the intentional design is to flow ultimately through the APR directly and indirectly through the penalties on the claims for the quick hit artists, to funnel that to, in terms of Polycub, funnel that Polycub into the contract, which is actually funnel it into the hodlers of X Polycub.
Right.
So that's why on the website, every few minutes, you will see the Polycub per X Polycub increase.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now at like 5.4 or something like that. I looked at it just before we started.
Crazy.
Now that started 3 days ago at 1. So it's a 5.4x if you got in at the 1 initially.
Right.
After day 1 or that evening, I remember it was 1.5. Then the next morning I woke up, it was like 2.25.
Right.
And that would have been Sunday my time. So now it's Tuesday. And we are now at 5.4. This is just going to keep going up over time. And that's the design. It's designed to keep pushing more poly continually into the X poly contract. Now, the number of X poly are churning out at 5 poly per block. that is going to decrease every week for the first 4 weeks. So it goes 5 to 4 to 3 to 2,
Right.
and it might even go to 1. But at some point, it switched from a weekly decrease to a monthly halving.
Right.
So let's say it ends the weekly at 2, then the next month it'll be 2, then it'll go 1, then 0.5, then 0.25, or however it works out exactly. And that's kind of following a Bitcoin path.
Right.
So it's an accelerated deflationary impact. And what that does is the emissions get smaller and smaller and smaller till you get to the point where the emissions of new Polycub is near zero. It's minimal. So how does this thing operate? How do you keep getting rewarded in the LP and the X Poly? Well, this is where those who are taking their claims early still will be penalized. But at the same time, in your auto compounding kingdoms, which those are on Hive too, but on the auto compounding kingdoms, they have an ongoing 10% management fee on all auto compounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that is also feeding into the X Poly. And when the emission of Polycub is down to the point where it's minuscule, the sustainability comes from those management fees, and the TVL that's under management in those different kingdoms, that will be used to buy Polycub off the market and send it into the LPs in the X Polycub kingdom. And so thus now you get all throughout, you have an appreciation of X Polycub in PC terms, Polycub terms,
Right.
because that's always going to be going up. It's 5.4 now. Tomorrow it might be 6. The day after it might be 6.5. That'll keep going up. In USD terms, though, because Polycub can fluctuate up and down, that can go up and down in USD.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
Poly go from like $4 a day and a half ago to now like $1.80. So obviously, even though the X Poly is going up with in terms of Polyglob, the X Polycub in USD pricing went from like 15 to like under 10. So if you're buying from the outside, if you're taking some crypto and converting it to USD or whatever you're doing, when you're converting it over, you will actually get more X Polycub today if you're bringing in USD or whatever gets you to the USD than you did last night. You get about a third more, even though the X Polycub has gone up in Polycub terms. So that's where the idea is ultimately long term, and we're talking probably 6, 8, 9 months down the road, as the emissions decline. And the second factor kicks in of how to fund this stuff. This is the sustainability that Cal was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That will lead to a USD leveling and ultimately an appreciation of Polycub, and hence X Polycub, because that's will be doing the buying, and you're going to have a lot less Polycub out on the open market, and over time, more of the Polycub will find its way into the X Polycub contract, and you'll have variations on that, of course, as people sell out or whatever. But that's the general trend that you're going to see over the longer term. Those variations will tend to smooth out. A lot of volatility right now, a lot of tokens being issued. In 4 days, there's going to be less tokens each block. So that's really where the sustainability comes from. So no, this was by design. This was meant to take the power of compounding. And also, you're going to get next week, I think I was listening to AMA earlier, bonding will come up, and that will have another effect where there's going to be some fees generated that will feed into the X Poly holders. So that's what the design is, to keep feeding the X Poly holders, diamond paws, hodlers, stakers, Hivians who I'm going to buy this and hold it till till the cows come home, they're going to be benefiting. And that's what the design was.
So would you be safe to say, and I know this is not financial advice, but would you say that now, if you were looking at Polycub, the sooner you get involved in this, the better? So this first week, when it's going to be reduced next week, now is the time to. Is that why we're seeing so many of these people on Twitter and throughout, like, the Leo community going, I'm going in? Like, is this why?
Yeah, the earlier the better, because there's less people in to start. So when you have a certain, don't forget, there's a certain amount of tokens per block. There's 5 tokens per block. And so if there's one person in there, that one person gets 5 tokens per block.
Right.
If there's 5 people in there, everybody on average will get
one. Right.
One. If you got 500, if you got 5,000, and obviously it's not based upon people, it's based upon the number of X poly created and that type of thing. So yes, the earlier the better. That's why the APRs are insane, but that's why the APRs keep coming down, is because you get more staked in there. Right. And so now the same amount of tokens are spread out over more X poly. Right. Next week, you're actually going to have less tokens per block spread over the same amount of poly. And then, of course, you think the same amount of X poly. And then, of course, you figure the X poly will keep growing as people stake more. So, that you have the one side going up and the other side going down. And that's where the APRs fall off till they eventually level out. And there will be a point where they level out, because you do have management fees, and hopefully you have more people getting into these auto compounding farm kingdoms that are there. And the more TVL that comes in there, obviously the more auto compounding that's coming from Sushi and QuickSwap and some of these other things that they're tied to. So all of a sudden, if you got a lot more TVL in there, that's generating more in fees, and then that's going to send it into the X poly. And why do people do that? Because why would people continue to do that? Because it's like, there's people who still have their stuff in kingdoms on Cub. You're still making a fine yield. You don't move it. You go into something else with new money. But, there's no need for me to leave the LP. Right. I mean, I still have Leo and Ethereum or W Leo and Ethereum in that liquidity pool. I never took it out. Right. There's no reason to. So once you get into this stuff, you just keep collecting, and more people find it. And again, you just look for yield. Not everybody's chasing the 10,000% potential get rug pulled stuff. There's people who do that. But again, if you have like Cal keeps talking about Cub right now is paying 60%, not Polycub, Cub.
Yeah, 60 Cub.
Or 65%.
Yeah.
That's a freaking fantastic return, 60%. Try getting that from a bank. Now, obviously you have some volatility risk where the price of Cub can go down, but you have right now stable coins on Polycub paying like a couple 100%. I mean, your stable coin, you don't have the risk of the coin declining. So, you start to look at some of these things and say, the more people get involved and the more people realize there's no rug pull opportunity, the more we start to FOMO, not necessarily FOMO, but we are FOMOing. The more we start to get into Polycub and say, I have to get into this. And then, by the way, rinse and repeat. We're going to be doing this again in another 90 days with A Cub or whatever the hell else.
Z Cub, V Cub,
whatever they come up with.
Right.
So this is where people have to think ahead. And this is one of the reasons why Cal, it turns out mistakenly so, but now that I understand what all this entails, now I see why he figured the price of Cub was going to skyrocket and really didn't, is because if you go out and buy more Cub today and put it in the kingdoms, you got 90 days of, or roughly maybe 120, maybe 60, who knows? You got whatever number of days of the cub giving you more cubs. So you'll have more cubs 60, 90, 120 days than you do today.
Mm-hmm.
For the next 56, 57 days, that whatever cub you get will translate into Polycub airdrops.
Right.
But at the same time, when a cub comes out or whatever the heck it is, the cub that you amass between now and then will factor into the airdrop you get of a cub or of, Rune Cub or Thor Cub, I guess it would be called, whatever the next couple things are. And so as the idea is, as these Ethereum forks, these EVM forks keep taking place, the idea is to keep taking this software, taking this blueprint and throwing it on there, hopefully ahead of the curve before or as these blockchains are starting to get popular and all the yield farmers are jumping on to the new latest shiny blockchain.
Yeah.
Well, there's Poly again, or there's Cub again with that version. And so that's how we look at increasing the system. So, there's so many different ways, and Cal's right. What do you do with your tokens? What do you do with your resources? What do you do with your Leo? Do you take your Leo and put it across to P Leo and put it in the Leo matrix liquidity pool? I did some of that. Do you just take your Leo, put it over there, dump your P Leo, and then just go into X Poly? Do you do the reverse and say, you know what? I'm going to take my Leo, send it to BSC, put it in the liquidity pool on BSC because some B Leo was taken out, transferred over, and put in the P Leo liquidity pool. So, sometimes by not moving, you actually improve your situation because people take some of their pool there and go to the latest, greatest. And it's like just by virtue, you're just sitting there, all of a sudden your yield increases from 25% or 35% to 60% because it's like a bunch of people left and went after the shiny new toy. So these are options, and that's what they are, is options. And they will be profitable. I mean, is it guaranteed? No, but X Poly was really thought about, and this is part of the reason why it took 7 months. Yeah, there was a lot of coding to be done, but there was a lot of research that went into this, and Cal and others tried to take the best aspects of Compound, of Cosmos, of Avalanche, of these different projects, Curve, and projects that are built on these different blockchains and incorporate them in. And so far, X Poly seems like a wonderful idea and a way to reward the hodlers. And it drives value to Cub, if you think about it, because, okay, jumping into X Poly is great. But if you FOMO into Cub, and this isn't financial advice, I'm not saying to do it, but if you FOMO into Cub, you're going to get airdrops every 3-4 months, however often they do this. Yeah. And, Cal basically said on the AMA, he said, we could do this every week if we want. The problem is you don't want to from a marketing, from a resource standpoint, and you want to time it with when blockchains are getting hot so you can get a lot of TVL. So, but the idea is just by holding Cub, you have Cub, you're getting Polycub. Well, I would anticipate you're going to probably get a similar percentage with the next airdrop of a Cub or whatever it is. And then you'll get a similar percentage after that and a similar percentage after that. And I forget what it was. I think it was 8.5% or something like that. Yeah. Well, you 8.5% 3 times throughout the year. And then you start to immediately start compounding that on that Polycub or that X version of whatever that token is. It just gets sick. And so suddenly that's how, if the USD amount of Polycub does increase, which is expected at a time, that's why Cal is sitting there saying, you know what, over the next 90 days, we may be giving you as much in USD as you have in Cub. We may be giving you 100% return. And that's where that's coming from. Now, the price of USD went down, Polycub went down. It may continue to go down. Who knows? I have no idea. Maybe some of the marketing that is about to be released, maybe that will start sending things flying, and a bunch of TVL will come in, and that may make things better for Polycub. Maybe on this one, it'll drop, but then the next halving, or not, it's not a halving, but the next drop from 5 to 4 per block, maybe that'll have an impact on the price. Who knows? It all depends on who's getting involved. But with all this stuff, get in early and get in often, and you're better off.
Yeah, the like Cal was saying, like, I mean, I'm having this kind of decision to make each and every day, because I'm getting my Leo from commenting, curating, creating, but I'm also getting it from the Leo voter delegation. So I'm sitting there with some decent Leo coming into my pocket every day. What I did before Polycub was I would just stake it. I just staked it, and Leo was growing and growing and growing. Now it's like, oh boy. So what I've been doing is I've been taking some of it and bringing it over to Cub. So I've been buying Cub and just putting it into a kingdom. Stupid simple, because then I'm getting my airdrop for the next 60 days, going into Polycub. I just take the Polycub and put it in the X Polycub staking thing. Stupid simple. I don't need to think about it. And I know there's other ways to go about it. I know you can do.
But if I can interject with that one idea, you are also setting yourself up to be in better position for the next airdrop and the one after that. So that's where you have to take the decision. And you're absolutely right. Do I take Leo in this example? Do I take Leo and move it over to Cub, Cub DeFi, get it on BSC, and add to my Cub holding? Do I do the same thing, throw it on Polycub, make it PCub, and then swap that out and get X Poly? Do I go into the liquidity pools on either of those? You know, these are choices you have to make. And as you said, you're adding to your Cub, which you look at it is, you got to look at everything as a base layer. It all stems from Cub. There we are. So the more Cub you have here, the more you're going to get in your Poly, the more you're going to get in your A Cub, your B Cub, your C Cub, all the way up.
Right.
So you are taking the baseline and improving that, saying, I'm going to keep improving my airdrop.
And so that's where it all, and it's really important, I think, for people to know, all of these new drops are coming from your Cub, and Cub is still like what, 37 cents last time I checked?
Yeah, it was under 40.
I mean, you're getting the ability to get these airdrops for buying a token that you don't need to. And this is, again, when I come and present this to people, I like to think of it as the layman's terms, the simplified versions, the people that don't have the PhD in computer sciences. So I need the most direct route. I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to. You start getting too complicated. I tune out. So how can I maximize this? Not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. What I'm doing, because this is the simplest way, is buying Cub. Staking Cub in kingdoms. I don't need to think about it. Everything after that happens on its own. And I think that's what's so brilliant about this. It's not like you don't, once you, and this is the thing, kind of going back a little bit. We spoke about this last night in our show. Like, we're not telling people to go and invest money. What we're telling people to do is go and invest time. Go and spend a day or two and learn about this. I know I had to. I know you had to. When Cub Finance was launched, like holy Hulk smashing Batman. I mean, we were smashing keyboards. We were pissed off at the world. I didn't know what the hell DeFi was. It was MetaMask. Like, it just made me cringe. But once you get through it, once you get over that and you learn it, it opens up a whole new world for you. So, simple answer to this, how I'm getting involved. I took the time. I learned this stuff. I poked around. And then what was the easiest way for me to do? Buy Cub. That's it. Buy Cub. Like, there's no overcomplicated. You don't need to send it to people. You buy it and you put it in kingdoms in cubdefi.com. That's it. That, to me, is brilliant, because I like simple.
Well, yeah, and to start, think, and again, you always have to think, because this is when you get into finance and DeFi, and when you start talking to Cal and listen to McSpadden talk and people like that, they all talk APR, APY, ROI, things of that nature. And so you're taking your Cub,
right?
You're taking your Leo and buying Cub with it, and stick it in the kingdom. You get 60% APY,
Yeah, right.
60%
without thinking. Yeah.
So. And that's before you do anything. Then you take and you get an airdrop over these 60 days, let's say, of 8.5%. So now you get 60 plus 8.5. Okay, my numbers aren't going to work out exactly, but let's just get the main idea. So you get 8.5%. So now you're up to 68.5%. Now, if you get 8.5% 2 more times over the next 12 months, that's 17%. You're up to 85%. And then, like you said, you're starting to put that into X Poly, which, that's 5X from day one, based upon, its numbers in Polycub, maybe not in terms of USD. But either way, what you're doing is you're just growing your holdings. And you just decided, I'm going to attack it at the base level, because if I double my amount of Poly or of Cub, and everybody else, and the amount of total Cub goes up, let's say 1.25%, your stake is actually, you got a bigger percentage of the whole. That means you're going to get more in the next airdrop. Yep. And it's just helping you along. And then the more you get, because it starts from day one, you can take that and put that into the X A Cub or whatever it's called from day one. And you start at 1-to-1, and then 5 days later it's at 6-to-1. And you're like, well, I did pretty good there.
Yeah. It's dude, it's and we say this, but this is kind of like the DNA. And I know this is a different blockchain. I know this is not Hive specific, but this is what happens on Hive. This is the type of thing that happened. And look who showed up. Look at that. Perfect. You won't believe who decided to join.
Do we got Belimo?
Look at this.
There he is.
I am so fucking sorry. The time zone fucked everything up.
That's what I said. I said, dude, this guy's probably got the time zones all messed up, dude. Because I'm like, it's not like, it's only like 6 or 7 o'clock over there. So,
but Belimo, that's why I wrote every time to you 1 Eastern time. I wasn't about to figure it out and take the blame for you. You being on at 7 when you should have been on at 6, or you've been on at 6 when you should have been on at 7. I let you figure it out, and thankfully, I'm not responsible for this.
I actually thought it was going to be around 9, and it's like it started by 7. I thought it was going to be around 9.
Yeah.
And I planned that I was going to like take a bath, brush my teeth, and everything before I come on the show. And now you just caught me unawares. And look, I was eating.
Dude, it's okay.
I was eating spaghetti, right? I was eating.
Hey, it's good to have you, my friend. Glad you could make it. Better late than never, as they say. And you know what? We're pretty loose around here with the time. So, actually, John, maybe you'll remember. We had one person. Who was it? Oh, Arcane's. The first time he was on, he showed up like 40 minutes late. So, Belimo, I don't even think you're the latest entrant. I think that was the past.
Man, I was hoping I'll break the record. I'm disappointed.
Now we have to, when John goes through and posts the video, he's going to have to edit out all that bad stuff we said about you.
I know. Yeah. Throwing you under the bus, man.
We actually were talking about something. Maybe. Oh, look at him.
Oh,
see, it's contagious.
Oh.
There he is.
You're channeling my inner taskmaster.
Yep. We will say you got a little bit too much hair there, though, and you got a nicely shaped head, Belimo. You would look good bald. I mean, some people look real funky, but I think you'd look good. Shades, bald. You're in the club.
I'm just going to have this conversation with my wife first, make sure she doesn't divorce me, and then
I understand.
And then I'll shave the head.
You must not own a comfortable couch. Is that it? You've slept on the couch before, and you don't like that.
It's not nice.
Anyway, before you came on, we were talking about this thing. Have you heard about it? This thing called Polycub. That's
Polycub,
what we were,
sounds familiar. Is it that thing that Carl does? I think it's going to be a rock pool, definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
Definitely.
exactly what we said for the past 20 minutes. We said, everybody, this is not financial advice, but get out now because he's going to take off.
Sell your
Rock
ex,
pool.
Poly. Get out.
Definitely. Exit liquidity. Some shit, something illegal justice. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Something bad is going to happen. It seems so good to be true. Honestly, I've heard about Polycub, obviously, and I actually wrote a publication about it recently. I don't know if you guys read it.
Yeah, you were front page on Leo Finance.
Yeah. So I actually went through the doc. I'm sorry, Mike. I have a puppy here, and she's all over my shit. Go away. So I wrote a publication about it, and I went through the docs, and it was really exciting. Like the mathematics behind it is really interesting. So I've heard about Polycub, yeah. Yeah, I've heard about Polycub. Oh, and also, does everybody know that I own Taskmaster? I hope you told everybody that I own you.
No, I conveniently forgot that.
How could you forget that I own an NFT of you?
Oh, yeah.
But Belimo, I must be getting old. On Friday's show, we had Cal, and we were talking about Project Blank. And I said to him, I said, we got Project Blank raking on Google. Maybe you should release a name so we can all talk about the name and get that released before the app is released. And he said, we're working on some things. I said, is it the same name as when we talked, a year, 16 months ago? He said, yes. The problem is I forgot what the hell the name is.
You know, the funny thing, I watched that episode. I think that was 2 days, last week. That was last week's episode.
Yeah. So
yeah, I watched that episode and I watched that part and I was waiting for him to say something about the name too, because saying Project Blank is
yeah. So I forgot it. So me forgetting that you owned me, and you got my NFT, that's just par for the course. But yes, Belimo has a Taskmaster NFT. One of three
I own him.
that is out there, and it probably will end up worthless. But anyway, you can see he enjoys running around telling everybody he owns Taskmaster. I mean, that was the 80 Hive alone.
Earlier today, I almost got arrested. I just walked up to a policeman and I said, "Do you know I own Taskmaster?" He didn't believe me. He didn't believe me.
So, Polycub, you went through. You love the mathematics. Let's step away from that. We can revert back to that. But how did you find crypto and how did you find Hive? What's your story of getting involved in crypto and what brought you to this wonderful, wacky world?
It was completely random. There's this thing we do in Nigeria. It's called NYSC, National Youth Service. Basically, I don't know if you've ever heard of it in Korea where you do 1 year military service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically in Nigeria, when you finish university, you do a 1 year paramilitary course where you spend 1 year serving the country, basically. So in that period, I was really broke, but I've been writing all along. So my younger brother just texted me and he was like, "Dude, write, you earn crypto, steam it." Back then it was steam it. And then I was like, "What the fuck? Send me link." That's the story.
I was expecting something like he had a big story or something. I was like, "Yeah, my brother sent me a link."
See, I wish there was an elaborate story, but honestly, it was just that kind of thing in movies where you're just sitting down and the angels are just singing and there's a light shining on you and they're like, "Oh!" It was that kind of thing for me. It was like my brother he sent me like 4 words. It was like crypto, blogging, earn money, right? Hive. Oh shit! Sign me up. Send me a link. No need to tell me anymore. And that's the story. That's how I got involved in Steemit. But getting involved in crypto is completely different. Obviously, it involved a lot of research and reading up on stuff and all that. But the beginning part, it was really easy for me. It took me like maybe 40 minutes to understand the keys and everything, because I really wanted it. It just felt like this was for me. This thing was for me, and so it took me like 40 minutes, and I just got the hang of it, and I just got going.
And so you got the keys. Did you see the potential right from the start, or did you like waffle back and forth and say this is a scam, or did you just say, "Oh, this has amazing potential"?
I thought I was dreaming for most part. I thought
think I'm dreaming. Yeah.
I thought, what the hell happened? I just wrote a publication and I got money from it. I didn't think about the potential. I didn't really look beyond. Initially, I didn't really look beyond what was right in front of me. Then, like, all I saw was the fact that I got value for the value that I provide, in sense of the publications and stuff like that. So that was all I saw initially. I had to do some digging, and then splinter lands and all that stuff
Yeah.
came around later on, and then that's when I started seeing the potential. And then I started, and then of course you start reading up publications from awesome people. Like, I don't know if you know this guy John G. Olson, and some awesome people, generally people, and you start reading publications from random people like that, and then you hear their thoughts, and you look at the market, and you look at what other people are saying on Coin Telegraph and places like that, and then you start seeing the picture. I started seeing the picture, and I started realizing, hold on, there might be something here, and that's when I took it serious. Now I'm full-time crypto. Like, I am 100% crypto. I haven't made a dime since 2017 that isn't related to crypto. Like 100% crypto.
We seem to have a nice contingency on Hive from Nigeria, and it seems like, just reading some of the industry wide stats, that actually all of Africa is a nice hotbed for cryptocurrency. Have you found that to be true? That of people you know and people you interact with, is Hive being well received in your country, or is it still like in the States here and actually North America, because I know Canada's the same way? It's like pulling teeth. You bring people to this, it's like pulling teeth. Do you find the same thing in Nigeria, that you introduce people to Hive? I mean, your brother sent you the link. You said, I'm in, but that's probably a rarity. Most people say, what is this? This isn't right. What's the reception that you get there?
It's somewhere in the middle. It's mixed, because I mean, initially, when I told people about it, I was like, "Yo, I'm on this platform and I publish shit, and I earn crypto, and I invest that crypto into other crypto, and I make more crypto from crypto." And they're like, "What the fuck? Like, what are you saying?" Some people are like that, and then there are other people that I tell, and they're like, "How do I, send me the link now?" And then those people are sending me the link, and then they see 5 keys, and they're like, "Oh God, I can't continue anymore." So yeah, so generally speaking though, I won't say we're when it comes to the Hive part of it. When it comes to, Hive is kind of slow compared to other cryptocurrency projects where you just pump and dump stuff. But Hive is kind of slow. It requires you building a reputation on the platform, making friends and stuff like that. So Hive is kind of slow. So certain people that I tell about it, they're always skeptical. They're always like, "Yo, how do I do it? No, I don't know how to write. No, I don't know how to talk to people. Oh, all the people here are white. I don't know anything about white people." Serious, like that is a thing that I've heard before. There's so many white people here. I don't know their culture. I'm like, dude, come on, you're a human being. Just be yourself. I'm not telling you to be white. So there's just generally like a lot of misconceptions about using social media to earn from it. And then there's also the fact that in Nigeria there are a lot of issues surrounding law enforcement and cryptocurrency. Yeah, it's not illegal in Nigeria. Crypto is not illegal in Nigeria. It's just there's a sanction from the central bank preventing normal banks from interacting with cryptocurrency. So we have to use peer-to-peer transactions for anything we do, and many people are not ready to go through that stress. Although it's all done on Binance for but many people are not really ready to go through that stress. So there are those, issues that are in the way of crypto progress in Nigeria. But generally
Mhm.
speaking, everybody in Nigeria though knows about cryptocurrency. Like it'll be impossible. It's almost impossible to run into someone that has a smartphone and ask them, "Have you heard about Bitcoin? Have you heard about Hive? Have you heard about Ethereum?" They know something about cryptocurrency. They just don't know enough. They just think it's like like gambling. Most people think of it like from the gambling perspective, like you buy it, you hold it, one day it'll go up, numbers go up, you sell it, that kind of thing. That's what most people think about cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
Mhm.
speculation. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned something about the government, and I remember reading about that, the central bank. So, are you saying can you convert your crypto into your native currency? Was it the naira? I believe. Did I pronounce
Naira.
it? Can you convert crypto into that, or no? That you
Yeah, I
can't.
can. I can
You
with
can.
There's something on Binance called peer-to-peer transactions. So in a peer-to-peer transaction, you bid a buyer, right, would place an order for Bitcoin or BUSD or USDT, those
Yeah.
popular. And then you having Binance, Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency that the buyer wants, you basically just put your own order there, like, hey, I want to sell to you at this rate that you're buying in Naira. And then the person agrees and you agree. And then within Binance there, you release your cryptocurrency to escrow. It's an escrow, and then when the person sends the money to your bank account, you receive a bank alert. Here we receive bank alert text messages. I don't know if it's like that there. So if
Mhm.
money comes into your your bank account, you receive a text like, okay, this money naira just got paid to you, and then when that money gets paid to you, you on Binance you confirm the transaction like, I've received this money, release the crypto to this person, and so that's how we swap crypto for naira. That's how we exchange it.
So there is a workaround.
Oh, there's a workaround. It's stressful though. I mean, of course, we would all prefer if it were automated.
Yeah.
In the past, it used to be automated. In the past, you just have USDT and you want it in naira. You just press the button, and that one's a lot easier. But with this one now, you have to be hoping that the banks don't fuck you up, because sometimes someone will send money to your account and then it will take hours to process. Maybe because of internet or some issue, it could be inter-switch issue or whatever issue. And
Mhm.
then because of that, you spend maybe 10, 20 minutes. Sometimes there was one time I spent nearly like 3 hours waiting for the bank alert, because without the bank alert, I can't release my crypto. If I don't receive confirmation from my bank that this money has been sent into your account, I will not release the crypto. So sometimes, and then the person that has sent the money, the person actually has sent the money, but I can't just release it based on you are telling me you sent the money. I have to see the alert in the bank.
Mhm.
So sometimes you end up waiting hours and the person is on your ass telling you, I've sent it, believe me, I'm not lying. I'm like, yo, I don't know you from anywhere, man. Just calm down.
Yeah.
So that's the difficulty. That's the difficult part of it.
Mm.
Well, it's just interesting because we see, and I don't know, John, up by you, what the talk is, but the rhetoric here in the United States, and of course, Nigeria and uh, Malaysia and India and a lot of countries, and of course, China and Russia. Uh, the rhetoric here in the United States is that Biden's supposed to bring out an executive order that's going to lay out something on crypto, and people are saying, are they going to ban it, or what's going to take place? So that's the reason for the questioning, is what type of workarounds, because I've been convinced it doesn't matter what these governments do. We got developers, they'll figure a way to write code to get around all this stuff.
Mhm.
And it's good to
Yeah,
see, because I know the Nigerian government hasn't been very crypto friendly, or at
no,
least
not at
the
all.
bank hasn't been. And but you still have a way to do it, even if it's a pain in the keister. It works.
Yeah, it works. I don't know how the banking system works over there in America. Here if let's say I want to transfer money to you, naira, from my bank to your bank, it's really like there's just a phone app that I just log into, Like same way we have Hive wallet. I just log into my phone app and then I transfer naira from my account to your account. That's how it works here. So because of that simplicity, the workaround is really just embedded there in the system, that we just have to have a platform. We just need a platform that's going to be like the middleman, and that's Binance,
Right.
to ensure that the crypto moves from this wallet to that wallet. And once the crypto moves from this wallet to that wallet, and I say I received the crypto, that's all it. That's really it. It's based on trust, but there's still the escrow part of it.
So effectively, what's happening is the person on the other end of the transaction from you, they're actually sending the native currency, the naira, from their account to your account. It's a peer-to-peer banking transaction.
Yep.
And like you said, the crypto is kind of on the sideline. So that's very interesting. That's why they can't shut it down, because it's not coming from a Binance bank account. It's not
Exactly.
coming from
People to
anything
people.
centralized. It's just one person sending another person money.
Yep.
And
And also we don't have a lot of issues with tax. The taxing system here, because I've read a little bit about tax in America and other countries, and in Europe, in countries in Europe, and here we don't have tax like that. Like there's no gift tax. I don't know if you guys have gift tax. Like if you receive a gift, do you pay tax on that? In
I
Nigeria, we
think it
don't.
has to be above a certain amount. There's,
In
a
Nigeria,
certain
we don't
amount.
have any gift tax. You can send me $1 billion. It doesn't matter how much you send to me. There's no gift tax. Like there's nothing like gift tax. Although there's a certain amount of money that I receive in my account that I'll receive a call from my bank, but it has to be
Yes,
like
of course.
yeah, I think it's about like $20,000 in naira, like maybe about 10, 15 million naira, about that. When I receive that amount of money, my bank will just call me to make sure that I'm expecting that money, but it's not really anything serious. So because of that, it makes it easy for us to use the P2P transactions. We just do it. Like nobody bugs us about anything.
Dude, it's fascinating, man. I mean, it's just because it's like I'm not saying like, well, Canada had, up until past couple of years, it was very similar where it had to be peer to peer. You sometimes you had to go meet people in a back alley to go and like get a Bitcoin swap. Like that's how bad it was up here for, and they finally, they're slowly coming around. But this goes back to kind of, what I've always said. Anytime any industry fights technology, and now if any government fights technology, they're going to lose. So the smart money and the smart play for the Nigerian government, for the American government, for the Canadian government, for whichever government, is to adopt it, like embrace it. And because that's where they're going to be positioned. Now, I know there's the interest groups of the banks, and the banks don't want to release their grip on people. But it's interesting to see how far we've come from 5 years ago to now, and I hope in 5 years from now too it gets even better. So, yeah.
Yeah, that certainly is the case. That you said being smart. I don't know, John. Where have our governments been smart of late? That hasn't been
Oh,
a
God.
synonym I'd apply to the U.S. government for the last couple decades. But so, Hive, what do you think of Hive looking forward, Belimo? Obviously, you took to it very early. You immersed yourself in it. Uh, how optimistic are you about Hive going forward? Not necessarily the token. I'm talking the ecosystem, the platform, the apps, the development. Not necessarily token price.
Well, I'm in it for the long run, and there's always something going on. I think on the 20th there's the Lynx airdrop coming, right? From
20th,
Speak.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just always something going on Hive. It's hard not to be optimistic about Hive because I mean, first of all, I'm already in there, and and my portfolio is almost 100% Hive. Really, if you consider Splinterland is part of Hive, and Splinterland is like a big chunk of my portfolio. So I'm pretty much 100% Hive. Polyglob is Leo Finance. I still consider Corp Finance and Polycub Hive. It's in a strange way. I mean, it's not exactly Hive. It's on Polygon and Binance Smart Chain, but I still kind of consider it Hive because of the team behind it. So it's hard not to be excited about Hives. I don't even know how. I don't even know where to start. I mean, oh please don't eat my food.
So
You
you're a
opened
big
it up, man.
Splinterlands person.
I was about to say you opened it up, man. There you go. There you go. Perfect. You underhand pitched that to me, Task. Splinterlands. So, how's the addiction going? Mine is at an all-time high every single day. I log in and I want to play and collect cards and buy cards and battle cards. And so, how's your Splinterlands adventures going?
Today I was driving and playing Splinterlands. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if that answers the question.
That's another level, man.
Really, sometimes I'll just be sitting down and I'll just be like in my private corner and I'll just be thinking, damn, I should have done this differently. Why didn't I just use that guy that boosts melee? So, sometimes it's just a part of my life now. That's just how I'm going to describe Splinterlands. It's beyond an addiction. Addiction is drinking alcohol. You have to buy it. Addiction is this has gone beyond an addiction. Like it's just like a part of, just like breathing now for me. It's just like breathing or drinking water. It's just that kind of thing. That's how it is for me right now. Splinterlands. I spend hours of my day playing Splinterlands at night, right before I sleep. Early in the morning, the first thing I do is play Splinterlands. I should pray to God, but I play Splinterlands first. I hope God understands.
Maybe God's playing.
I grew up. I was raised Christian. I was raised as a Christian, so sometimes I feel guilty. I just wake up in the morning. First thing I just rush to my Splinterlands to check to do my daily quests. I shouldn't be that way. I was raised as a Christian. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's how Splinterlands has come from. That's just how it is for me.
Are you a one gamer person, or do you have your eyes on some of the other games that are? What's your view of some of the other games that have been mentioned? Whether it's CyberX, Ragnarok, some of these other things that are on Hive, do they excite you at all, or you're just Splinterlands and forget everything else?
I'm Splinterlands and I play Rabona. Rabona, yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever heard Rabona. I play that one because I like football, soccer. You guys call it soccer. I don't know why you call it soccer. I guess that was. Anyways, I play Rabona. It's a soccer simulation game, and I'm very excited about CyberX. The reason why I'm excited about CyberX is because it's been, it's the first person shooter game. And even right before I came online, I was playing Call of Duty. Like, that's my shit. I like first person shooter games. So and we're expecting the game by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. But I play Rabona, I play Splinterlands, I play DCT a little, but there's really not much to play in DCT. It's not really like, yeah. And then I heard about some games, the B-Mill and a bunch of others that are outside Hive, but I haven't really taken the time to play. I played Gods Unchained for a while, where it was too much work for a lot of clicking around, and I didn't really enjoy that. The strategy was too much for me. There's way too many things involved. So, but for now, what I really play is Splinterlands and Rabona, and then waiting for CyberX.
Now, did you buy some land in CyberX or some LVL? Do you have LVL or land?
Yeah. I bought the founder starter kit. I bought one, and then I've been accumulating LVL. I just basically use my post earnings, and I buy LVL or I buy credits because I'm also trying to get Chaos Legion packs. I'm trying to get to 1,000 Chaos Legion packs. So I buy from my post earnings, I just take a bit of it. I buy LVL sometimes, and then other times I'm buying Splinterland credits so I can buy packs.
Are you buying Splinterlands in the game to get the 1,000 in there, or are you just doing it on Hive Engine?
No, I'm buying it in the game so I can also get the airdrop.
Airdrops. Yeah. Same. Yeah, I tell that to my business partner all the time that's what I do, and he's like, "Why? It's only $3 a pack on Hive Engine." I'm like, "Well, you don't get the airdrops, and I want the airdrops."
Like there's something about the airdrop, man. I need that airdrop.
Yeah. Well, I got a Uriel gold foil legendary from one of the airdrops. So like I don't know about you, but for me with Splinterlands, like I was opening packs and that damn shaky when it turns into a legendary card, and then it goes sling and it turns gold. It's
right. There was one time my wife had to tell me to shut the fuck up. She was like, "Stop making noise in this house." Yeah, disturbing me. I'm trying to sleep. And then my wife knows a little bit about Splinterland. My wife is on Hive. She's Wolf of No Street. And she she knows a bit about Splinterland, and she knows how I get excited about it. But that day, I got a gold foil, one of these new gold foil cards, and I was just putting it in her face. Look at it. Look at what I got. I got this. Celebrate with me. She's like, dude, just okay. It's 1 a.m.
That's exactly what I did with my wife. I try to get my wife into it, right? And I'm like, look what I got. And she's just looking at me, like shaking her head, like, what is with you? You know, you're like a grown man. Like, that's a card. Like, what's wrong with you? And she's just like, yeah, I hear you, man. They look at you different.
Yeah, man.
They judge you.
It's not been easy. The past week has not been easy for me because I have 100 unopened packs, and I don't need to tell you how difficult it is like, to just have 100 packs you haven't opened.
Sit there. I know. Oh, dude. I know.
It hasn't been easy. I've actually been avoiding touching Splinterland on my laptop because I like opening packs on my laptop more than my phone. So
Yeah.
I've been avoiding Splinterland on my laptops simply because of that. Like I don't want to look at those packs. It's really difficult for me. Like that's why I say it's beyond an addiction. An addiction is like alcohol. Addiction is this. I could just decide to stop drinking alcohol one day or do an intervention. There's no intervention that's going to stop me from playing Splinterlands.
Brian of London is no longer the only guest we've had sucking down. Although he sucks down some wine, it looks like Belimo's into the hard stuff. I mean, is that
vodka whiskey? What is it?
Yeah, vodka.
There you go.
Straight vodka.
Jeez, man. Wow.
I hope Putin saw that so he knows that I'm not his enemy too. So if he wants to bomb Nigeria, let him know some of us drink vodka.
So you mentioned Rabona. I haven't heard a lot about Rabona. What's going on with that game? What are your views on that going forward?
Honestly, I don't know. I've not really been, I'm not even in their Discord or anything. I just play the game. I'm not losing every day. My team, I just enjoy the fact that I renew players' contracts and I sign new players and I scout new players and stuff. But I don't know what's the plan for their development. They have a new platform other than the first one. They have a V2 platform, a beta. It's in beta stage, and I know that there's some development going on. But I really don't know much about it, honestly. I'm just enjoying the game. The fact that I set up my team and I see my team beat people, I feel like that's awesome, for me to just keep playing. Maybe if I start losing stuff.
Is it a play to earn game?
Yeah, it's kind of, but I mean the earnings, like each season is like a week, maybe 8 days, and at the end of every season you earn like 0.6 Hive, between 0.6 Hive to 2 Hive. So it's not really play. And most of the Hive I earn, I just put it back into the game to buy more RBN tokens to improve my team. That's all I've been doing since.
Yeah, I got into it when it launched, and I set up a couple of teams and stuff. Well, I set up my team, but I just it's like D City to me, right? Like D City was like
Exactly.
everyone's like, oh, D City is like, oh, this, that, and the third. I was like, I don't want to overthink. I mean, it's like when I start
It,
getting to,
it's so stressful, man. It
yeah,
gets so stressful sometimes. And then unlike Splinterlands where you can see it all happening, on Rabona you don't see it happening. You just
right.
by 3:30 or about 3:30 p.m. my own time, or 9:30 a.m. or 9:30 p.m. or 3:30 a.m. The game just generates a score for you and just says this is how the match went, and you can't really check. You can see the formation, you can see how your opponent set up and how you set up, but you can't really see it happening in the way you can see a battle in Splinterlands happening, where you watch and you see the strategy and you see how this person set up with the healer or the taunt monster or whatever,
Right.
you know. Yeah, but with Ravona you can't really see it all happening, so it kind of makes it boring in a certain kind of way. But at the same time, because it's football, I don't know if you follow football, John.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's football, I just like the idea that okay, there could be a football game. Maybe this is just the beginning. And one thing about me is I like being with projects that are starting up and projects that don't give you bullshit. Rabona hasn't given us any bullshit really. This is what they have. This is what they have
Right,
right now.
yeah.
So we're just playing what they have right now, and they might decide to upgrade in the future or not. I don't know, but
Mhm.
with what they have right now, I'm just playing with what they have right now. And hopefully they get better. Hopefully they'll upgrade the game and maybe we can start seeing simulations of matches and stuff like that sometime in the future. And that'll make the
Mhm.
game a lot more fun. So
Yeah, some
for
type of
now,
visual to it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mm. Yeah,
Like
it's a cool
Football
project,
Manager.
man. So, yeah.
Have you ever played Football Manager?
No, I haven't, but I know. Yeah, I know
You
like
know,
how.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the first time I saw Rabona, I thought they were trying to make like Football Manager but online.
Hmm.
So I figured they were going to add all those like simulations and give you the opportunity to make like halftime substitutions and stuff like
Right.
that
Yeah.
to make the game like a lot more exciting. But maybe that could come around somewhere along the line, because I don't want to think that this is the game, like this is everything. I want to believe that they have plans for
Hmm.
upgrading it somewhere in the future.
It's crazy that this is what's being like created here, and not just in Hive, but across the spectrum. Is that we're seeing where this is gonna start paying people salaries. Like you're gonna be able to play games on a blockchain and make a living from it.
Yep.
And that to me, like you said, I come from a Call of Duty background. I mean, that's what I played for like a decade plus. Like that's it. That's all I played. I never once thought, hey, I'll make money from this ever. Like, never did I think if I
Yeah.
win this search and destroy match, I'm gonna win money. But now with CyberX, it's like you might have a search and destroy mode, and if your team wins, you might win, and then
Actual money.
it's crazy. It's mind blowing to me because
I never thought I'd get paid for opening emails, but I do.
well, dude, I mean, Listeners is here, man. Did you see what we added to Listeners yesterday? No,
I saw the video. Yes, I did
yeah,
not
yeah.
Tell me. I
get it
like to know.
in.
Now you can open the emails and you can get different types of emails, and you might get a legendary email that does a little shake, and um, you earn extra listeners tokens and stuff for just opening emails. So not only do you get paid for reading the emails, verifying the emails, now you can even get paid more because some of those emails may be a legendary email.
Legendary email.
Legendary
Very
email,
soon.
we got 3 different versions of them. So there's 3 different types of prizes you can win from just reading them. So
No, and that's the thing. When I tell people about all the stuff that I get paid for, they think I'm playing. Like
yeah.
sometimes it's even really hard to explain to people that I'm like, I bought a I bought a car from like one game I was playing. I was like, dude, I don't know how to explain it to people, how I'm living off blogging and gaming and just stuff like that. And now you're adding emails. Very soon we're just going to be getting paid for breathing. Like
or drinking vodka, man. You get paid for drinking vodka. Right? Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
at some
proof of
point,
breath,
you
proof
at
of
some
breath.
point you hold up that bottle to drink that vodka versus another companies. They're going to have to pay you. Hey, pay me to drink.
Yeah, man.
Man, that would be the life.
Well, we're sitting here talking, and we know our ex Poly is growing in value, at least according to Poly. So, I mean, it's every moment there's more Poly going into the ex Poly contract, and that helps us if we stay Poly.
Yeah, like you could just chill. Like you could just spend your whole life chilling. You get to the point where you don't even have to work, where you work for fun.
Well,
Where
ActiveFit pays you to walk.
sorry?
ActiveFit pays you to walk. So you
get paid for
get
walking.
paid while you're walking around. Put up
Man.
the post. They'll auto vote you. You get a little bit of Hive and you get some ActiveFit, maybe 40, 50 AFITs.
Yeah, man. It just sometimes it just feels a bit surreal to me. The whole thing, everything going on, it just feels a little bit surreal to me. Like I get a little bit emotional about the whole thing because I studied engineering in university and I always thought I'd be an engineer and everything. And then here I am 4 5 years later, after 5 years after finishing my university, and I have zero experience in engineering, like zero, like, zero.
And you realize you get paid, you make a living by pushing buttons. You just push the button on the computer or on the phone, just pushing buttons and playing Splinterlands, pushing a button. And
I was at the gym. I was at the gym one day, and then I came for for the morning session. For like, it was the first time I came for the morning session in like months. I don't come for the morning session because I wake up whenever the hell I want to. So so I went for the morning session, and then somebody at the gym was like, "Yo, you attend the gym?" I was like, "Yeah, I only come for the evening session." Then they wanted to give me fitness advice, like morning is better. I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I don't wake up in the morning." like, what about work? I was like, "Yeah, my work doesn't really care."
I push buttons for a living. I can do that at any time.
I do, like don't stress me, man. I don't. I wake up whenever I want to, and like this whole thing with crypto kind of makes me feel like, kind of makes me wish I had like an economics background or like accounting background, that kind of stuff, like to make me like really appreciate, the quality and the value of everything. But I've had to learn it on the fly. I've been, you read a lot of documents and publications and stuff like that, and you learn it on the go. But sometimes I just wish, like, man, I wish I didn't spend those 5 years doing engineering. Because here is 5 years. I wish I didn't spend those 5 years doing engineering. I wish I did something else with my time. That kind of thing, like something management or economics or finance related. But here we are today. So it's still awesome.
Well, I went to school for economics, and there's a reason why economists are very negative on cryptocurrency is because cryptocurrency doesn't fit into their models. They can't figure out how to integrate it in because their models are based upon scarcity, and cryptocurrency isn't scarcity. I mean, as we were talking earlier about Cub and XPoly and ACub and all these other Cub variations that'll be coming out, and the Cub you're holding, you'll get airdrops on all of them. We're really rewriting the script with cryptocurrency. And this is where I think abundance is to be had because, like you said, you just mentioned all the different ways you get paid. And you're asking for, well, maybe I could do this. And it's like, oh, well, that app's out there. Just use ActiveFit. You could get paid to walk. And, at some point you'll get paid to drink vodka. I mean, somebody will pay you, maybe you'll get an NFT for buying your 100th bottle of that company's vodka or whatever. I mean, they'll pay you.
Anybody sees that, just contact me, please. I need that, please.
Yeah,
I need that.
hey, here's think of this way. What if a vodka company advertised in a game, and all of a sudden, because you participate in the game and you buy a bottle of vodka in the game with the in-game currency, you actually get an NFT that can be redeemed for a real bottle. I mean, these are the type of things that NFTs can do. So,
Yeah.
Faith, you may get paid to drink vodka.
Eh,
Then you'll never get to the gym.
never. Who needs a gym? No, really, man. No, like you're saying it like it's a joke now, but I mean stuff like this is going to happen. There are already football clubs making NFTs. There are already big businesses like traditional businesses doing NFTs of stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, where it sounds like a joke now, but this is actually really possible. I mean, for somebody else, I probably won't take that deal because I like being married, but.
You, you wake up late enough as it is. You don't need any
Yeah,
more help.
I don't want to make it worse. But
That's funny.
really, like it's actually something that could actually happen. It's actually something that could actually happen.
Yeah,
And that's what makes this industry really interesting. Like how it doesn't really matter where you are, your location, like it's really global. Like it just made the whole world seem so small to me because I didn't have access to a lot of the things that I have access to now. I'm on a video call with somebody in Canada and someone in America, and as that sounds, it may sound so trivial to you guys, but like it's a big deal for people like us in Nigeria because we don't really have access to stuff like this normally. We don't have access to invest in an opportunity that everybody else in the world is investing to. We're usually cut off from stuff like this. But the crypto industry, and that's what makes me really appreciate the crypto, and that's what makes me stay. That's what makes me know that I'm going to be here forever. Is because the crypto industry really like just broke down the wall, like
Right.
preventing us from reaching and getting the opportunity to invest in in a global market, that kind of thing. So it's a really big deal. It's a really big deal, honestly.
well, yeah, because you think about it. Typically, for most people, now there's some people who get high enough in certain countries and in certain companies that they're international, they're global conglomerates, so they are able to supersede this. But for most of us, our earning potential is based upon our local market, where we are located geographically. Now,
Yeah,
somebody like John, who's been involved in the internet, he was able to supersede that. But for most of us, like for 30 years, I was in sales, and all my sales were in a local geographic territory. So what you were saying is in Nigeria, for the most part, most people are dependent upon the Nigerian economy for their sustenance.
yep,
You have superseded that because, like you just said, you're dependent on the Hive economy, you're dependent on the Splinterlands economy, you're now dependent on the BSC and the Polygon economy and the Leo
yeah,
finance economy, and you're able
yeah,
to tap into these different global networks. And like you said,
exactly.
even though BSC and all that and Polygon are
Yeah,
different blockchains, you look at it, and I do the same thing. It's all
yeah,
Leo Finance to me, which Leo Finance
exactly.
is
Like
on Hive. And so you're tapped into that economy. You are benefiting from it. That economy can grow regardless of what's happening in the United States, Canada, Nigeria, Australia, or wherever. That's growing based upon the network effect
exactly,
across the entire globe. And
exactly.
that's what
Yeah,
crypto
and
can do.
it and it's awesome because we're just ordinary people. Like you said, like most times the people that break these boundaries are billionaires, millionaires, those high end people. But now we're just ordinary people having access to a global market, and that's just fucking huge. Like I don't know how else to describe it, honestly. Like it's just a big deal that ordinary people with average Joes can just have access to own tokens of a platform like Leo Finance, for example. And every time I'm looking at Carl talking on those podcasts with Scary Cat Guide and Neil, and I'm just looking at all of them talking, I'm like, wow, I'm part of this. Like, look at these people saying all this useful shit on this YouTube I like, look at these guys. Like, I'm part of this. Like, good
Well,
going, guys.
here's let's go one step further and frame it in this way. You look at Cal and watch Cal on video wherever he is, and he's doing this stuff on behalf of you. He's going out and he has the developers and he's creating this stuff and he's doing the research to incorporate this in. And he's doing it all on our behalf. Now he's doing it for his own sake too. He's part of it, but we benefit. I mean, you and I and John didn't think up Polycub, and we didn't think up this. There's a mathematics behind it, and we didn't write up the docs. But guess what? We got tokens going into X Polycub, and we're watching them go up and up and up, and we're saying we're getting more tokens. We're getting more tokens.
And the math behind that Polycub thing is really interesting. Like I'm really fascinated because I'd like to see 1 year down the line.
Well, you're an engineer, so you love that mathematical crap.
Oh, going through it, I was really like I was entertained by reading the documents. I don't know if anybody has experienced reading
only an engineer
documents
would be
being entertained
like that. I said only an engineer would be entertained by something like that. Or
I can't explain. Going through the documents when I was reading, especially the part about the risk-free value rather. Going through the document, I was really entertained from it because the concept behind it is simple, really. If anybody has done a differential equation, if you've ever done any differential equation, you know when something tends to infinity. That's basically what they are doing there. That's basically the concept behind risk-free value, where the protocol own liquidity keeps going up based on the investments, and then the total number of Polycub keeps going down based on the fact that the maintain rate is reducing and then the buyback stuff is going on. So and then there's the X Polycub, that keeps going up and management fees, buying it back and all that shit, and everything going on. It just really was interesting to read. I don't know if nothing. Everything you read on the document is always ideal condition. So I'm really interested to see how it would be like after a year. But I don't lie, I was really excited. And those of us earning airdrops now, where I think we're like front row seats for a show where we're in the best position because we are the ones getting the fastest printing rates. This period where there'll be 1 million Polycub. Beyond this period, if everything goes according to the schedule, the amount of Polycub in circulation is going to keep reducing and reducing. I mean, it's going to take a long time before we even get to 2 million. We're going to get to 1 million fast, but it's going to take a really long time before we get to 2 million cups.
Polycub. Yeah, and then it keeps slowing down because it keeps having once a month. So after you get past the first 4 or 5 weeks, then it keeps having once a month, and it's just going to take a while. And you get 10 months, 12 months down the road, the amount of Polycub creating might be in the tens of thousands for the entire month. I mean, I've never figured the math, but it's like, we well, with the airdrop will be over, but you might be going in. And you look at one X Polycub may require 100 Polycub or 200 Polycub.
That's probably going to happen at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if everything goes according to plan, Polycub is probably going to be kind of turn into like something like Bitcoin, where you don't necessarily want to sell it because there's no point in selling it. There's really you lose when you sell because nobody's selling. Like it's going to be like one of those assets where you can take. Like I talk in my publication, I talk about how it seems like something you can use as collateral for taking loans or something.
Bingo.
Like
Bingo.
So I feel like that's the plan. I don't know if that was the plan for Polycub, but when I read the document, that's what I saw. That was just what I was seeing there. Like, this shit is awesome for collateral because I mean, if somebody offered me this and I read this document, and someone say, "Hey, I'd like to borrow $2,000 and give me Polycub," I'm like, yeah, give me Polycub, take the money, because it just looks like something that's always going to go up. Like, it just has that potential. So
Well, and I agree with you. I wrote a post last night about, and I basically titled it "Never Ever Sell Your Polycup." And some people, or your
I saw it. I read it.
ex Polycub, and some people were like, "Well, you got to do it to eventually cash out." And in the comments, and why would I take gold and bury it and never dig it up? And it's like, no, collateralize it. And I would say, I have no insider information, but I would say it only makes sense that if Cal will probably build a collateralization platform into Polycub so that we can go in and start collateralizing the X Polycub, excuse me, not Polycub,
Yeah.
the X Polycub in there. And so,
Yeah.
like you said, you could go and maybe tie it into, well, they could probably tie it into HBD or, USD or whatever they want to, and say, okay, somebody can go in and put up $4,000 worth of X Polyglob and get $2,000 in loan, the 50% rule or whatever. And then you take that $2,000 and you have to pay it back over the course of whatever, 10 weeks or whatever you agreed to. And there's a way to collateralize it.
And then they could just use like all that, the fees, whatever they generate, the profit, whatever they generate, they just put it back into the protocol, the POL, and then they just buy back, and then the Polyglob keeps going up.
I listened to the AMA before this, and I think it's in the next week. Bonding is going to start. They're bringing bonding to the site, so that's going to create even more fees, and people will have an opportunity to get into that, and get a 10% discount, which means a quick 10% return in 5 days, and things of that nature. And of course, that will diminish over time as the bonding grows and expands. So there's just other layers to this that they're bringing in that is just real interested. And, we just sit there say, okay, this all helps me. Fine.
Yeah.
My X Polycub will go up. Fine.
I like it.
Yeah. And I'm not
I like it.
Some people were saying, oh, well, the price of Polycub is dropping. It's going to go down to under $1. It's going to 4 cents or 40 cents or whatever. And I'm like, who cares? At this point, I'm just watching how much Polycub I get for each X Polycub, because at some point in time, the dynamics are going to switch because of what you were saying with the fee structure and the diminishing Polycub creation, that the USD value will have to increase. In fact, I want the USD value to go down because I can take Leo, make it P Leo, swap it over, and get more X Polycub or get more Poly than I would
then put it in X Polycub.
And then put it in X Polycub. So, I mean, I would actually love to see 40-cent Polycub, because that means,
probably won't happen. But even if it does happen, it won't last long, because there are many people thinking the same thing you're thinking now.
Yeah, especially since I now said it on air, and there's
you said it. You just ruined it for all of us.
Yeah, I ruined it for all of us, because I don't know if you're aware, we have about 90 million listeners each episode. At least that's what John and I think. We might be off our accounting. Our accounting skills are lacking a little bit too, but
trillions.
Yeah, trillions.
Yes. We're talking to all those.
That's like half of China.
Mars. So, anything else? You're big on Twitter. You're a big Twitter person. You're always out there talking on Twitter and horsing around and talking about Hive, having fun. What drives you to do that? Is that just because you want to get away from your wife, and so you need something to do when you're not involved in Splinterlands, or are you part of the Twitter army, or what do you do there? What drives
My
you?
wife is going to see this video, so hey, wife, I love you. No, please. I enjoy using Twitter. I have a lot of friends from real life on Twitter that I interact with, and then Twitter is also one of the places where you get information. Although a lot of the information, you can tell that the information is really curated on Twitter. Like they only let you see what they want you to see on Twitter. So I use Twitter because it's fun and there are a lot of fun memes. I like memes, and I'm working on the meme industry myself. I'm trying to improve my meme game, so you're probably going to see more memes from me.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm using Twitter to learn the art of memology, memography. Anyways, making memes. And then there are just a lot of interesting characters on Twitter, and every now and then
I
I
love watching you and Trump Man go back and
I was
forth.
going to say, what are your thoughts on Trump Man? That was my next question.
That's the highlight of my day when I see these two going back and forth. It's yeah.
The first time I saw Trump Man, it was back in Steamy days. He posted his he posted a really funny publication. Then he's right on STEM, and he wrote something. He said it was like animals with the most impressive dicks you've ever seen. Like that was.
Is that into STEM? Is that a STEM related topic?
And I saw the publication. I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy? I love this guy." And it was something like that. And then he every single time he's talking about some dick or the other, one dick or the other thing. I was like, I love this guy. I love this guy. And that's how we became friends. And he
That's how we became friends.
That's how we became friends. I saw this dude. He was talking about dicks, and I was like, "This is somewhere."
Oh, you guys are killing me, man. No, I don't feel good at all right now.
Now, John, is this an appropriate time to mention the Cummy token since we're talking about this, or no?
Oh man, it's like
Could he have cross-posted that in D-porn or
I
not?
just work here, man.
So that's how we became friends. It's a weird thing to say, but I started interacting with his post, and then we talked on Discord, and he shares a lot of information with me, and he talks about Greece, and I have plans to relocate to Europe, so he tells me stuff about Europe, and and we're really cool. We talk on Discord every now and then, and you see us on Twitter, and we there's always John already knows you. We talk shit. We talk shit on Twitter. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, well, I mean that's Trump Man, and you look at his comments on most posts. He talks about dicks or ass or something with inserting one in the other. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a comment where he talked about anything else. Honestly.
Oh boy.
Look
at the viewers. Look at the live viewers. We had a whole bunch of live viewers. Now we got one left.
Is it a Greek thing? Do you know? Because I mean, it's like they have the saying "going Greek." I mean, they are known.
I don't fucking know. I enjoy our conversations. Me and him, we talk whenever we talk on Discord or Twitter or whatever. Like I just love the guy. I don't know. I look forward to meeting him one day and just kicking it with him and stuff. But he's really fun. I like people like that. I like people that are just fun and just life is serious. I know there's a lot of serious shit going on in life, but why so serious at the same time? Sometimes just chill and talk shit. I get blocked a lot on Twitter sometimes because I think everybody's Trump man, and I get blocked a lot. I think maybe sometimes I just be scrolling through tweets and you just see this viewer does not allow you to see their like, oh yeah, got blocked. Wow.
Well, Move beyond Trump, man. One final question. You mentioned your wife's on Hive. You have other family members. Is your sister on Hive?
Yeah, young boss Karen.
Yes. So your sister's on Hive, and so you have a
My
few
brother
family
too.
members on Hive.
Yeah, I have my sister is on Hive. She's the young boss Karen. My brother is on Hive. He's a doctor too. He's a bingo, EBINGO. And my cousin is on Hive. Tari Tarila Young, that's her username. And then I have friends from real life on Hive too. A lot of some of them, I call them my family, but we're close friends. Yeah.
That's good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I have a bunch. I try to get my dad on Hive. I think he spent 2 hours. I tried.
Yeah, it's good.
Difficult.
It's the attempt. It's the attempt that counts.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried. I tried to get him on Hive. He liked the idea of because my dad is a microbiologist, so he has a lot of publications that he has written in the past, and he didn't share them. So he was thinking of sharing them on Hive and stuff. So I tried to get him on Hive when I was at home, when I visited home. That was last time I visited home was in 2020 or 20 early 2021, early last year. I tried to get him on Hive and to get active on Hive, but it didn't really work out. But at least he spent 2 hours on Hive. I tried.
It's good.
Maybe revisit again as Hive gets a little bigger and as crypto gets easier to use and understand.
Well,
Yeah.
dude,
My dad actually has investment in Cub.
In Cub?
He has an investment in Cub.
Nice.
Yeah. I got him to invest about $500 into Cub Finance. So he's farming Cub and Polycub right now. I managed it all for him, but
you did get him to do the Polycub thing. Good.
Nice.
Maybe that'll bring him back to Hive.
He's getting Polycub airdrop. Yeah. He's getting Polycub airdrop and stuff and when any other airdrop that comes along with, I got him some cake too. Some of my from the farming on Cub Finance, I've been buying some cake for him. That's pancake cake, right? And then also, he's earning the airdrop for Polycub too. So at least he's
I
into
would
crypto.
suggest
Somehow.
at his age, just keep him out of X Polycub. That's too risky for his age bracket. So anybody who's thinking about going in X Polycub, don't. Don't. It's a bad idea. Keep it in Polycub. That's what you want to do. And I'll be willing to take the risk and live dangerously in X Polycub on your behalf.
It's very dangerous. Don't buy X Polycub, okay? Don't take your Polycub.
Don't do it. It's bad.
Don't do
bad
it.
for you.
Let Taskmaster me do it.
Well,
how much X Polycub do I need, Belimo, to get my damn NFT back?
I don't know. Every time I just go to my Angel, you know that thing that Mark, is it? Who built that thing? The dude with the anime.
Wolf did. Real Wolf built.
Real Wolf.
Yeah. So I just look at my Taskmaster there and I'm like, yeah, I own him. Nothing can take this away from me.
No, it can't be.
It's priceless.
It's in your own wallet. Can't even take it away.
It's right. Sometimes I look at your publication and I'm like, look at that awesome publication the person I own published. Nope. I'm not letting it go. Sorry, there's no X Polycub in the world that can take that. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Nice try, though.
Funny.
You have enough Polycub to last you, so you don't need mine. Owning my NFT is more important.
Yep.
That's
every time I see your publication or your videos that you post with your Leo Finance account, I'm like, nah. I own him, so I technically own this awesome publication. So
you need royalties, man. You need to get paid for all of this stuff. He should set you up as a beneficiary. I feel
like you guys should get Lord Butterfly on this show, right? And tell him how I'm going to get my royalties. because he's the one behind Hive, folks, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He started
Get
it.
Lord Butterfly on this show and let him tell us how I'm going to get my royalties from owning Taskmaster, because I need to know.
It's the
Because
next
I own
step.
Taskmaster.
That's the next step.
And also how I'm not going to give royalties to whoever owns me. We need to figure out.
Yeah, who owns you, man? Who's got your NFT?
I think Brian of London, I
Brian of
guess.
London, right? Yes.
Yeah, I think Brian of London. I'm not sure
Yeah.
though. I've seen. I think there are 4 editions, right? 4, 5,
Yeah, something like that. 4 or 5 editions. Yeah.
4 or 5 editions. I think Brian of London owns one. I don't know who owns the other.
I thought there were
But I
3
think
of each person. Did they
no, I think
expand
there are 4.
4?
They are different rarities.
Yeah.
Oh,
Blue, red, green, but then there's the red with the
Hive logo.
Hive logo on it. Yeah. It's fun.
So
I need to find. I gotta buy mine. I've been using the JPEG version of mine for Twitter, so
I don't know.
no one's gonna sell me anything.
I'm probably just going to use the one that I own of Taskmaster as my display picture.
That's what you do. Use that as your profile pic from now on. It's like
because it's mine.
Yeah.
See, I own it. I own you, sir.
you start doing that. You start using my profile pic, and I'll show up at some Hive gathering, and they'll see me and they'll say, "Hey, you're Belimo."
Yeah.
It's like no. Yeah, Belimo. See that you're in his pic. You're in his post. No,
That's you.
Yeah. They'll think you're me or I'm you.
We're us.
We're us. Dude, let me tell you though, you are a huge asset to Hive, man. You're definitely one of the good dudes on this blockchain that we all benefit from with your content and how you are on Twitter and everything that you do to help promote Hive. And so we're very grateful that you decided to come and hang out with us. A little late, but you know what? We're not going to hold that against you. It's okay. It's all right.
Thank you. I am so sorry. I honestly, the time zone thing fucked with me. I thought it was going to be 9. It turned out to be 7.
Yeah. Well, that's all good, man. No, it was good. It was good. So yeah, dude. Thanks for coming and rocking with us.
A pleasure.
And we'll definitely get you a badge. One day I'm going to get all these badges that Arcane set up for me to give out to all the guests, and I'll figure it out one day. I promise.
Hey, I got a solution on that.
You know, you said it last week. I'm starting to doubt this. I'm starting to doubt. Yeah, you said this last week. I saw you saying. I watched you say it.
I know, dude.
I think I got a solution to that, John.
Yeah.
Well, Brian of London, kind of made himself like the third stooge.
Yeah.
And
okay. Fair enough.
He has technical skills. So why don't we just delegate that to him and say, you're part of the team, but you're the official badge meister.
Badge giver outer.
Yeah, he could figure that stuff out. And that way, people get their badges within 6 months.
I know, dude. I just,
and then he could figure out, he could work with Arcane so he could give himself 10 stars because he shows up 10 times in a month and a half. I mean, he can do all that stuff.
John is just thinking about all the clicking and he's like, oh God.
It's if it was just to press a button and send, I could do that. Arcane sent me a list of things I have to do it's not just press a button. So it's with me, I'm an idiot. I'm not that smart. I like things that are simple. That's why I have an Apple phone, because I like one button where that's why I like Cub. I don't have to think about it. Put it in a kingdom.
He knows how to buy it. He doesn't have to go with another chain and figure out what gas do I use here? Matic? What's that?
Matic. I didn't even know what Matic was until 72 hours ago. So I do that. Sure.
Hey, John, why don't you start researching Avalanche chain so that way when it comes up, you're up to date on it.
Hold on, is Avalanche the next on the line?
We don't know what the next one is. I thought
it was Phantom.
Phantom and Avalanche are being looked at, but and Cal said they can adjust to either one. The contingency is sometimes what happens with the blockchains themselves. because like Thorchain, they wanted to go Thorchain early, but Thorchain had all sorts of problems. So, you don't know if there's unexpected developments at the blockchain level that says, okay, we'll hold off here. And they also want to jump ahead of the curve. So if there's something that's like just taking off and getting hot, they want to copy and paste and put Cub Finance on there to take advantage of the momentum on that chain.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to project. Or maybe that's all just bullshit and Cal just doesn't want to tell us. Like he didn't want to tell us the name of Project Blank.
Why doesn't he want to tell us?
I don't know. The guy
So we can start putting hashtags out from now, right?
Exactly. Like seeing Project Blank. Weird.
Are you excited about that app? I know you don't like the name, but are you excited about the app like me and John?
I'm excited about the concept because it's actually a concept I've talked about before. On the show, you remember last week on the show, he talked about how Project Blank is going to the activities on Project Blank is going to be custom JSON transaction, and it's something that I had actually talked about because I was talking about the disadvantages of platforms like DBuzz, and I don't know if you guys have used Likey2. Have you ever used Likey2? Do you guys know about Likey2?
I tried it once. I tried it once.
Yeah. So I was talking about the disadvantages of Likey2 and DBuzz, even though they are really good they are really good front ends on their own. Like when you look at at buzzes, is that what they call it? Buzz. When you look at buzzes on DBuzz and you look at posts on Likey2, they are awesome there. But the problem is most people don't use Likey2 and DBuzz. Most people just log into Hive with Pict or Hive.blog or Leo Finance. And then when we see your publications, when we see your Likey2 posts, it just looks fucking dumb. Let's be honest. Like it looks fucking dumb when you look at a tweet. When you look at one of those buzzes on Pict, for example, it doesn't look right. Let me not say dumb. Dumb is not fair. To do it doesn't look right. It looks out of place because those other platforms, the popular platforms are meant for long form content. So the idea of using JSON transactions, like for the way we use Splinterlands transactions are JSON transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just in the blockchain there, but it's not really showing in the front end and spamming everybody's pages, and that means we also have the opportunity to tweet as many times as we want to. It's awesome. It's how it's supposed to be. It's how I imagine it would be. So I don't know when they intend to bring Project Blank. Can we stop calling it that? Whenever Project Blank is going to come, to life. But whenever it decides to come to life, it's a nice idea. I hope that they follow through because the way Carl talked about it, I don't think they really started working on it. I don't think they have. And maybe I'm just speculating, but I feel like if there was information, he would have teased us with it. He would have given us some teasers. He didn't really give any teasers about. He talked about the JSON transactions and stuff like that, but he didn't really give like teasers to make you excited, to give you a hard on for it. But so I don't know.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's dependent on the Leo Mobile because they're going to take that front end and roll it over, and they have to get stuff with Leo Mobile right and tied into Leo Infra and all that other stuff. So yeah. I know he's trying to get that all put together, and so once Leo Mobile is, where you say, hey, this is working really freaking well, and everything's converged and incorporated, then we probably can start surmising and harassing them and saying when in Project Blank. But I don't think it's for the next quarter or two. So
I don't think so. I think we'll probably get more information about it by the end of the year, and that's assuming That's assuming we don't get the Phantom Cub or Avalanche Cub. Assuming those ones don't come along before it.
Well, they will, and he has a big enough team to work on that. But I agree with you. We might get an MVP version of Project Blank by the end of the year. We might see that. But yeah, I mean, he's got enough of a development team, and there's different developers working on the Phantom Cub and the Avalanche Cub and whatever else. So they're working on different things. I think he has about 15 developers now working on stuff. So they're going a lot of different directions, which is going to be cool when it's all tied together.
Yep. I like the fact that everything is still going to come back to Leo at some way. Everything is still going to send value back to Leo.
Well, I mean, even as John and I were talking earlier, it's just when you take your Leo and you put it on BSC or you put it on Polygon, that is spreading the Leo out and giving other people access to Leo, as opposed to going through Hive Engine or it all being staked on chain. So one of the big things is you want to have the token available to people who want to come in and say, yeah, I'd like to curate on Leo. How do I get myself 10,000 Leo or 5,000 Leo? And it's like, well, you can put in buy orders on Hive Engine for the next 6 months and maybe you'll get to 2,000. But when you go into these liquidity pools, then instantly you can pick up $1,000 or two.
Yeah,
and that'll help.
Yeah, I moved some Leo to Polygon too. I'm not even farming or anything. I just moved it because why not? I I just had Leo in my wallet. I just moved. I was like, put some Leo here in my Polygon wallet. I want to see P Leo in my wallet too. I want to be one of the cool kids.
It only costs you one Leo to move it over, so.
There you go.
So well, at the end of the day, we'll find out the plan. We'll know the plan from Carl, and he'll tell us what a lot of us are anticipating. Because I know that I'm not the only one excited about this Project Blank. This guy Adrian is on top. He talked about Project Blank regularly on Leo, and there's just a lot of us that are really just excited about using this it's going to take away the need for Twitter. When Project Blank comes around, I'm going to I'm going to have a new place where I'm going to post my memes, where you're going to really see me on like the memes I'm going to make, because I'm really working hard towards making memes. I have an app and everything. And John, you need to get this app. Like, I think the name of the app is what's the name? Suma something. Hold on. Am I still showing?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah.
Sandstorm. That's the name of the app. Sandstorm.
Sandstorm. All right.
Sandstorm.
Well, now you do realize that you can use Project Blank to post to Twitter, or you will be able to use the Project Blank app to post to Twitter. You can post both places. So you can still engage with your Twitter people if you want.
They should come to Project Blank.
Well, that's true too.
They should go. Honestly, I like Twitter sent me. I told you I get blocked a lot on Twitter. I say a lot of dumb shit on Twitter that I'd get away with it on Hive, but I say a lot of dumb shit, and I hate working on. I hate living in fear. I hate feeling like I'm going to say something to somebody and one day they're going to report me because I said, hey, shut up. Yeah. Or I said, no, I don't agree with you. You're wrong. Or I say, I don't like this. You like this. And they report me. I hate feeling that way. So I'm on borrowed time on Twitter. I'm on borrowed time. Every time I'm tweeting, my wife says, this is the day they'll ban your account. And I'm typing the tweet and I show her, like, look at what this idiot said. Look at I'm replying him. She said, they are going to ban your account today. So I'm really tired. I'm really tired of feeling. I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling. I don't get that feeling on Hive. Worst case, you downvote me. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. We're sorry. Yeah, but I hate feeling like you can just kick me out. Like this is not my. I don't own this account. I'm just borrowing this account from you. I hate that feeling.
Well, you can log in with Keychain or Hive Signer or Half or whatever they use to log in, and nobody can take your account away from you.
Nobody can take my account away from me on Hive. But here, I'm just borrowed. It's just borrowed. I have followers, whatever. Yeah, I have friends. Yeah, whatever. But At the end of the day, it's not my account. It's not their account too. All it takes is somebody to not like what you said, and they just report you and they delete your Twitter account. That's
Okay.
not some shit that I. That's not some shit that I want to continue. I want to keep, living with. So I'm really excited about Project Blank. Whenever Leo Finance decides to get it started, I'm going to shield the shit out of it. I'm going to market it as much as I can. Whenever it rolls out, I'm going to go aggressive on my marketing and stuff. So I'm excited about it.
And we'll let Cal know if the name is Project Blank. Belimo is going to be very pissed.
I'm going to be fucking pissed if that's the real name.
I think it should just be called Vodka. Why not? Right?
Like I bought my 6 VODs. I'm going to be calling each tweet VODs.
But
Well,
you can name the token the VOD token.
See,
Just
we're
VOD,
making progress already.
Yeah.
I feel like we're making progress already. We need to just take this project away from Carl and just start working on it right now. We'll get John to do anything that involves pushing one button.
That's all I need, man. I just need one button.
See, John will like
button.
Project Blank because he knows how to use Twitter, and it's going to be laid out like Twitter. So he really is okay with that. I thought you were going to say you'll get John to code it, and that would be fun.
HTML, open tag, close tag. I mean,
At least you can spell HTML.
I sometimes I mess that up. Don't worry, I will screw that up too. Yeah.
That's how you do a good programmer. Yeah,
he's the technical one of the two of us. He does the editing and all this other stuff. So that's how far out him and I are. He's the technical one.
John is the technical one.
Yeah. He does all the editing for the videos and all this other stuff, and he sets up what's on here. That's why he sends me the link the same way I sent you the link. He sets it all up. He has the account. I don't know how to do any of this shit.
It's one button.
Well, that's one more than I know how to use. I know how to use 0 of the buttons. So
one button.
I remember trying to get Taskmaster on my Twitter space one time.
Oh fuck! Twitter is.
I was sitting there waiting for him to show up.
The damn thing wouldn't let me in. But it was a simple problem. I was trying to get in on my desktop, and you have to do it on.
You don't have Twitter on your phone, do you?
I do now because I had to because of that. Now I can be on your spacey thing there because I got Twitter on my phone. I had, and you know why? Not only did I have that problem, a freaking week later, the CTT guys couldn't record because Eddie Spino wasn't around to record it, so Dan was trying to record it. He couldn't do it. And there was some problem with Discord. So they said, "Hey, let's set it up on Twitter." I'm like, "You're fucking kidding me!" So I got to go to Twitter now, and they're like, "Do you want to come on task?" I'm like, "I can't. I'm on my desktop. It's not on my phone." So a week later, that was 2 weeks in a row. I had that, and I got the Twitter on my phone now. Which, by the way, they haven't had a CTT since because Matt's been in the war zone and Dan was on vacation or something. So I loaded Twitter on for no reason. And now not only is Mark Zuckerberg, Twitter is now going through all my photos and my album and everything I do and tracking me. And they know when I go to the bathroom and all that stuff.
I'm not sure if that's how it works, but...
Well, it does if you take a selfie. But anyway, that's another story.
Wow.
Sound like my dad, I swear.
Just hope for him.
Well, at least you know the selfie is, so there's progress.
Yeah.
Yep, and I know what a meme is, even though it's spelled
good.
Meme. By the way, do you have some Shiba Inu, or are you getting into the meme?
Shiba Inu,
or just the memes themselves?
I have some Shiba Inu, but not on chain. I had how many dollars? I had okay. See, the reason why I bought Shiba Inu, and nobody should judge me. It was really cheap, right? And I wanted to have 1 million of something. So, so I basically had like $40 or $50 about that on Binance Exchange. And so I bought Shiba Inu and I had like 1 point something million Shiba Inu. I was like, okay, God, all you need to do is make Shiba Inu $1 one day in this life. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter when, just make Shiba Inu $1 one day and I have $1 million. Okay. And me and God just, we just had that agreement and then I bought Shiba Inu. So that's why I have Shiba Inu.
I have 6 million Safe Moon.
What the fuck is Safe
I
Moon?
remember when that was being promoted. Holy hell on Leo Finance. Everybody thought
Safe
Safe Moon
Moon.
was the mooner.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it listed on Binance?
Yeah. Well, it's a BSC token. It's worth $3. My 6 million Safe Moon, and I bought this on the
I was
recommendation.
laughing. No.
What did you spend on it?
$50? $50. Yeah,
So it went from
$50
$50 to 3.
to 3 on the recommendation of Blaine.
These things happen.
Financial advice.
Hey, but let's look on the bright side. I think this is the bottom right now. So, time to buy Safe Moon, everybody. Hey, everybody watching, buy Safe Moon. Don't stake Polycub on X Polycub.
Sell your X Polycub and buy Safe Moon, according to Belimo.
Exactly.
Yes, that's financial advice from Belimo.
Financial advice: buy Safe Moon. Don't stake Polycub
and keep in mind, he's been drinking vodka the whole show, and probably was drinking before the show.
I was. You were right.
And if you don't like what he says on here, just block him on Twitter. He's used to that.
I'm used to it already. Honestly, in almost every popular tweet, I go on every popular tweet and I click and I scroll through the comments and somebody has blocked me there. I feel bad sometimes. No. I mean, I feel good sometimes. But I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. Because I don't feel bad that people block me on Twitter because I'm like, why are you blocking me? What? Like, come on, why are you trying to cancel me? At the same time, I don't feel good because I'm like, why are you so mad? Like, come on, it's just Twitter. It's not like your account is important. Twitter owns your account. It's not yours. You don't even make any money from it. Why are you taking it so serious? So I don't know.
Crazy.
I'm just somewhere in the middle.
Well, everyone listening in, clocking in at 1 hour and 57 minutes, we'll shut down the recording. I'm sure the conversation, the after party, will be here, but you guys aren't going to be able to listen to it. So, apologies to everyone listening in that wants to be here for the after party. If you don't come to the show, you don't know, man. Guys.
Sorry.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening in. And
appreciate it, Belimo. Glad you could come
Thank
by.
you.
We'll have you on again, I'm sure.
I look forward to it.
Cool.
And I'll be on time this time, 7 o'clock.